Hello, True Connection. Welcome to another video. It's been a month. I felt some discouragement from the channel, but I'm here to talk to you, the people who want to hear it. So, I've been going through some things, as I usually do, being the sensitive man that I am, with a charismatic side. And I thought I'd share with you today some personal things I've been going through, and how you might feel the same thing, and how you can kind of go through that and find something positive out of it, shall we say, or to learn from it, or to deal with it. I don't think these are the same thing, by the way. I want to talk about this kind of pain or this suffering, unease that you can get from just the feeling of being single. And that's something I've been dealing with recently, is that it's been a year since my last girlfriend, and I have this kind of disappointment, shame, judgment, self-talk, which is less than positive, about my state of being, that is being single. And it feels like, I guess, in society, looking at myself through the eyes of society, I would see that being single is kind of negative and looked down upon, because even though this isn't necessarily true, when you see someone who doesn't have anyone, there's kind of this bias that they aren't desired, or they are kind of like unwanted, right, unpicked. And so I guess people that have partners or have girlfriend or boyfriend, they're kind of elevated because it shows that they've been picked for sexual value, and for someone to invest their resources in. And it's kind of like the same thing where you see someone with a job, and it could be the worst job, it could be McDonald's, but there's kind of this implicit assumption that the person with the job has more value, right, because they've been picked, even though there could be tons of reasons why the person has the job or doesn't have the job or has the girl. But we're kind of internalizing this conditioning, and we're seeing if we measure up to the standard of society. And that's something I felt recently, where there is this social dimension of the unease, and it's kind of like my mind is telling me, like, oh, get someone, find someone. There's this urgency on the one hand, and then on the other hand there's kind of this sense of like, I can't be bothered, or not right now, or it's not the right place. And then there's kind of like a middle ground, right, where it's like you're looking for something, but then you're not really thinking about, like, are you single or are you not? You're just living. You're just trying to live, and you're just trying to do cool stuff. And the third position is, I think, is the best one. But we have to be able to deconstruct these value propositions that society gives us in order to just like bear the load of being single, right? And one thing we have to get out of is this myth that if we just had a girlfriend, then, you know, life would be easier, or we would feel like a somebody, or we would have this sense of self-esteem. Like, all these things is just, we would have all these extra things that aren't necessarily about the physical thing, the person itself, but it's like all these kind of ego perks. And it could be a girl who isn't necessarily the most beautiful, but still, it's still that thing, as I said, of, you know, if you have a job compared to no job, then you will feel some sense of like achievement, at least at the start. But then, in order to see through that, you don't necessarily need to disbelieve it, but you need to be able to see that those feelings in themselves are not necessarily permanent, and that being with someone can make you also, it can make you feel worse about yourself actually. It can make you feel worse, it can make you feel negative emotions. And so the emotions that you're trying to escape when you're single, they don't necessarily go away when you're with someone. And the second thing is, we place a kind of low value on just being by yourself, like say going to the movies by yourself or eating alone. It's hard for us to do that. There's like the stigma, and so there's not really an encouragement of self-acceptance in the sense of like not having anyone around. We're not really taught to accept yourself. And there is also the thing of, just as a guy, just generally there's like this kind of questioning we get. It can be at a certain age, but it can be even at a young age, where your family or your friends or people will be like, oh, so you got a girl. I was like, oh, what are you gonna get your girl for Christmas, or where are you gonna go? And this doesn't happen everywhere, but I think this reinforcement of like, oh, so you're single, how come? And it's like this social metric or marker that if you don't have, then it causes like people's face to kind of drop and go, or mentally to drop, not always physically. But yeah, it's all these things. It's kind of the social mirror and seeing yourself through other people, and also I guess we just missing a feeling as well, like this feeling of singleness. It's like we could go more philosophical, and this thing of singleness is just kind of like you don't have anyone to kind of make sense of the world with, and making sense of the world yourself can be complicated, right? It's like if you have someone there who you can kind of ping off and cling to in different ways, you don't have to feel as burdened by like existence itself, right? It's like you have less like coexistence rather than just existence. But then existence itself it's something to look at, to inquire in, and we don't really get time to do that when we're just trying to seek out another person, though they can lead us to some higher plane of consciousness, but it's rare. And so we kind of have to look at existence in the eye when we're single, or we have the opportunity to do that if you can just get past the layer of like this ego layer, which is like it's not going inwards, it's still thinking about like how they are perceived outwards, or what do people think about you, or what do you think about you. You have to deconstruct those layers of like who thinks about what, and let go of thought, and let go of the labels and the attachment to being in a certain position, having a certain girlfriend or not having a girlfriend, because you can get into this infinite regress situation and you end up just like making yourself miserable. It's like a form of self-harm. Like, say if I sit right here and just like keep looping on how I don't have a girlfriend, why I don't have a girlfriend, how I need one, how I can't live without one. Like I can do it, and like instantly I can make myself miserable. And so you have to just be easy on yourself and just not torture yourself for nothing. There's just no point, even though it's hard to let go of that. But as Osho says, the goose is out. So you can kind of break free from this conceptual suffering and just realize like I'm outside the bottle, like the bottle of like where I'm just like, oh, I don't have this, I have this, or you're just like clinging in your mind to the conditioning or the memory or this and that. Like you will do that, and I do that, but then you can look at yourself and be like, no, I am free if I want to be temporarily. Like I can just drop the thought and drop the belief and just, you know, exist without conditions or adding a predicate or a proposition of like some kind of relationality of like I exist with her or I don't exist with her. It's just you just exist in this kind of space. We went quite deep there, and I will talk about that more. But yeah, those are some little pointers you can think about. Let me know what your experiences is with kind of being single, and how it affects your self-esteem, who you are, and kind of your actions. Okay, thanks guys.